Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to control your life, the more peace slips away? You keep thinking about tomorrow. You worry about things that have not happened. You replay old mistakes before sleeping. You expect people to understand you without saying a word. You become upset when life does not follow your plans. And little by little, you stop living today. Many people believe they are carrying responsibilities, but the truth is, most of them are carrying unnecessary weight inside their minds. Maybe you have also asked yourself, why is my heart always tired? Why do I overthink every small thing? Why can't I just feel peaceful? If these questions have ever lived inside your heart, then today's story is for you. Because sometimes the greatest change in life does not happen when everything around you changes. It happens when something inside you quietly says, just let it be. Hello everyone, my name is Wally, and welcome back to Wally Tales. Here we learn simple English through meaningful stories that help us understand life, people, and ourselves. Today's story takes us back hundreds of years to a small village where people owned very little, but some of them carried more wisdom than kings. Let's begin. Long ago, between wide green fields and quiet hills, there stood a small village called Arvin. The houses were made of mud and wood. Children played barefoot in dusty streets. Every evening the smell of fresh bread filled the air, and every morning the sound of birds woke the entire village. Life was simple, but not every heart was peaceful. Among the villagers lived a young man named Ivan. He was 22 years old, strong, hardworking, honest. Everyone believed he would become one of the finest farmers in the village. But there was one thing nobody could help him with. His mind never rested. If the sky became cloudy, he worried about his crops. If someone looked at him without smiling, he wondered if they secretly hated him. If another farmer harvested more wheat, he felt he was falling behind. If something good happened, he immediately became afraid of losing it. His body worked in the fields, but his thoughts lived somewhere between yesterday and tomorrow. His mother often watched him eating dinner in complete silence. One evening she finally asked, "Ivan, when was the last time you enjoyed your own meal?" He looked at her with confusion. "I eat every day." She smiled sadly. "No, you only swallow food. Your mind is always somewhere else." Ivan had no answer, because deep inside, he knew she was right. 1 week later, the village prepared for the yearly harvest festival. People cleaned their homes. Children laughed together. Women baked bread. Old men repaired wooden benches near the village square. Everyone looked happy, except Ivan. Instead of enjoying the celebration, he spent the whole day worrying. What if the rain comes? What if next year's harvest fails? What if I never become successful? That evening, while everyone celebrated under hundreds of small oil lamps, Ivan quietly walked away from the crowd. He followed an old dusty road until the music slowly disappeared behind him. After walking for almost an hour, he reached a large oak tree. An elderly man was sitting beneath it. His clothes were old. His walking stick was made from wild olive wood. Beside him rested a small cloth bag. He looked like an ordinary traveler. Nothing more. The old man looked at Ivan and smiled. "You are walking very fast." "I am trying to clear my mind." The old man chuckled softly. "If your mind is running, your feet cannot catch it." Ivan sighed. "You speak like every old person. And every old person tells me to stop worrying. But nobody tells me how. The old man nodded gently. That is because advice is easy. Understanding is difficult. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Finally, the old man stood up. My name is Sahir. I have visited many villages. And everywhere I go, people ask the same question. How can I find peace? Even looked at him with tired eyes. Do you know the answer? Sahir smiled. No. Even looked disappointed. Then Sahir continued. But I know where the answer lives. Even frowned. Where? The old traveler pointed toward the lights of the village. There. Even looked confused. My village. Sahir nodded. Tomorrow morning, walk with me. I will not teach you anything. The village will. The next morning before sunrise, they began walking through the quiet streets. Ivan expected long speeches. He expected old wisdom. He expected difficult words. Instead, Sahir simply smiled and said, Today, say very little. Watch carefully, listen deeply, and never interrupt. Not long after they reached the first house, outside sat an old woman spinning wool with slow hands. Her name was Mira. She looked poor. Her clothes had been repaired many times, yet she hummed a cheerful song while working. Even whispered, She has almost nothing. Why is she smiling? Sahir answered, Let's ask. Mira welcomed them warmly. Sahir asked, Mira, people always see you smiling. What is your secret? The old woman laughed. My secret? I stopped counting what life forgot to give me. She continued spinning the wool. When I was young, I wanted a bigger house. I wanted expensive clothes. I wanted life to be fair. She smiled at the morning sky. Years passed. Some dreams came true. Many did not. One day I became so busy counting what was missing that I stopped seeing what was already in my hands. She gently touched the basket beside her. My bread, my little garden, my neighbors, my mornings, my memories. I almost lost them, not because they disappeared, but because I refused to notice them. Even stayed silent. Mira looked directly into his eyes. My son, happiness does not hide from people. It quietly leaves those who only look for what they don't have. As they walked away, Ivan did not speak. For the first time, he wondered how many beautiful things had been standing beside him all these years, while he kept staring at what was missing. Sahir smiled but said nothing. After a long silence, he finally spoke. That was only the first lesson. The village still has many stories waiting for you.